Okay, so the 90D has actually been announced. Now there are actually some specs that have actually been uh removed, and actually a lot of specs have been added, but I'm a little bit disappointed and a little bit happy with actually the camera. First of all, it actually looks quite identical to the 80D. They've just the only thing that you could tell it's the 90D is that it says it's the 90D, and that it's got a joystick at the back so you can move around with the um autofocus points, and it's got 45 autofocus points as the 80D, and it's got 100% view coverage for the viewfinder, and it's lacking 24 frames per second. I do not know why they take that out of the camera, took that out of the camera. But it's got 30 frames per second and 60 frames per second on 1080p, and it shoots 4K full 4K. It has no additional crop. So, but that is only for 25 frames per second and 30 frames. There's no 60 frames, but they both have face detection and eye detection. So, yeah. But when you shoot, and it also can shoot 120 frames on 1080p, but you lose the face detection and the eye detection, which is kind of like a waste. Why would you add that when it's a waste? There's no point of adding that. But yeah, it's got 10 burst rate shots, so you can take really good photographic shots instead of what was it, 7 on the 80D. The 80D had 7. This time it's got 10 burst rate shots. Um, it's pretty good. That's mainly the biggest changes. Again, 45 AF points. You can attach the EF-S lenses and EF lenses, L lenses, all that stuff. All that stuff. Nothing's been really changed. The body looks exactly identical as the 80D. Yeah, not that much. Yeah. What I really wanted them to do is to actually keep the 24 frames, the 30 frames and 60 frames for 1080p, and do 24 frames, 30 frames, and 60 frames for 4K. Full frame. That would be sick if they did that. But they couldn't do that. I don't know why. It's the 90D. Come on, it's a freaking beast of a camera. That's what I wanted them to do, but they didn't do it, so it doesn't really matter anyway. It's a good camera. It's alright. It's got eye detection. Eye detection's pretty cool. My one hasn't got eye detection. Mine's only got face detection, which is a 200D, and this is like 2 years old, a year and a half old. Yeah, but yeah. Now they got the 250D, but it's even crapper because it's got no 24 frames per second, and this one's got 24 frames per second. But yeah. That's the 90D pretty much. I don't know if I left anything out. I think I covered everything. It's got weather sealing. The weather sealing is actually improved a lot more better on the 90D than it is on the 80D. I think that's pretty much it. That's all that's been added on the 90D. Kind of good, a bit disappointing, but eh. It's a good camera. I do not know what other DSLRs that Canon are actually gonna make, but they did announce it. Some people have actually tested the camera and they've made reviews on YouTube. Um, but yeah, I do not know when it's actually gonna come out. Probably Christmas, probably December. It will be for sale, so you guys can buy it and play with it and all that stuff, which is actually pretty cool. But it is awesome that we get 4K full. Oh, and it's got a 32.2 sensor. 32.2 megapixel sensor instead of a 24.2 megapixel sensor. Or was it 22.4 megapixel sensor? Yeah, that was on the 80D. But now it's 32.2 on the 90D. So, yeah. I think I covered everything. I'm hoping I covered everything. If I didn't cover everything, let me know down in the comments. Those are just the main key features. There's also other features that on the ISO it goes from 100 to like, oh, I don't even know. It's pretty big number. I don't know, like 2000 and something. I do not know. I'm not really quite sure on the ISO, but they've boosted up the ISO quite high. But yeah, I'm not quite sure about the ISO. I gotta check up on that. But you guys can feel free to leave it down in the comments if you guys want to. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's actually a pretty decent camera, DSLR. But yeah, that's the Canon 90D for you guys. Yeah. Anyway, onliners, if you enjoyed this video, I know it's a lot of information. Drop a like, comment down below if I left anything out. If if I left anything out, drop it down below, and subscribe if you're not new. And without further ado, onliners, stay freaking awesome. I love you onliners to death, and I'll catch you guys up real soon.